As someone who's had the good fortune to train with Steve through the full cave and now review his training videos, I highly recommend this video series to anyone who wants to learn how to optimally configure a side mount system. This is an excellent educational tool that will help divers with a wide range of interests make the most of their diving, whether that might be improving your comfort, enjoyment and safety on recreational dives, avoiding the injuries and discomfort that can result from struggling with heavy back mount systems, or in preparation for technical or cave training. The system described has advantages across the board, and these videos take the guesswork out of choosing and correctly configuring your gear, which ultimately saves you money, saves you time and misdirected effort. Over the last 20 odd years I've had the opportunity to be trained in and use a range of equipment configurations and styles, from what most people would consider to be conventional open water setups through the Hogarthian style single and manifolded twin tank approach, which I used for about 14 years, and including commercial training with full face masks and pony bottle for diving in tethered mode. So I've had the opportunity to dive in a wide range of challenging conditions, working in the dive industry as well as on research trips and occupational diving. And in that time, some of the overriding themes that have emerged for me include simplicity, so not making the equipment too cluttered that you can't react quickly to a problem, or perhaps carrying so much gear that it becomes difficult to keep track of your gear, not having that gear well laid out. Another important thing is streamlining. So as we know, water is far denser than air, so minimizing your profile in the water is very important for comfort and safety. Control, so control of yourself in the water, so your position of in the water, but also control of your equipment in and out of the water and avoiding equipment loss, damage to your equipment and damage to the dive site. All of those things are important, avoiding entanglement and so forth. So being in control of your equipment is very important, and being able to find items when you need them, such as in an out of gas emergency. And finally, consistency. So a consistent and practiced response to problems and doing things in a logical and thoughtful manner, to avoid the sort of problems that you encounter either through complacency or a haphazard approach. The approach presented by Steve in these videos and in his training ticks all of these boxes and more for me. For me, side mount also provided a way to pursue new diving opportunities despite injuries I've accrued over years of working in the dive industry and also through recreational diving. So particularly being able to split up the weight that I needed into smaller manageable parcels. So I've got back problems, being able to have two small tanks or two tanks that can be easily carried and weight integrated into the harness means that I can break the weight up into small manageable parcels and avoid aggravating those back problems. So getting into side mount allowed me, for example, to fulfill a long-term desire to do a cave course. So it's been 20 odd years since I've wanted to do a cave course, and finally I got the chance to do my training with Steve. What I didn't expect though was the greatly improved trim, balance and reduced drag, and overall improved comfort in the water that I found using side mount, and specifically using the approach that Steve introduces, particularly considering when I was already diving a very slick back mount system. Okay, so I really noticed the difference. The mark of a great diving system is the attention to detail and the inherent logic embodied in all aspects of the system. Steve presents a model for side mount diving in a logical, structured and comprehensive fashion. The approach demonstrated is well thought out, internally consistent and eminently sensible. One of the things I really like about this video series is that each element of the system is presented in a thorough fashion removing the guesswork surrounding those small details that can be so frustrating to get right. And you're encouraged to pause regularly and apply what you've learned, which I think is a fantastic approach. Steve also explains the rationale at each stage, which I think is particularly important. It's one thing to be shown what to do, but understanding why empowers a student to both engage with the content at a deeper level, so have the ability to apply that knowledge under new circumstances, and also take ownership of the information presented, meaning you accept and retain the information better. The videos follow a logical progression from properly setting up your cylinders, configuring your regulators, setting up a harness, through to a range of other tips and tricks addressing common questions encountered by divers moving to the system. For those engaged or planning to engage in technical diving, there's also a video covering stage and deco bottles and other relevant matters. Steve's an excellent educator. I would have to say one of, if not the best, I've had the privilege to train with, and his generosity and passion is second to none. The videos will be of use to anyone diving or planning to dive a side mount rig. They'll be especially useful though if you plan to train with Steve to make the most of your time during the course by getting your equipment squared away beforehand. Or if you have trained with him and want to maintain your skills, these videos will also be extremely useful. If you do get the chance to train with Steve, by the way, definitely take it.